Good morning and welcome to the news at 6:30 a.m. on Rapping 96.5 FM, the sound of your city. Today is Thursday, February 1, 2024. First, the headlines. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike issues fresh warning to informers and kidnappers. Governor Seyi Makinde signs executive order on handling of harmful substances in Oyo State. And on the foreign scene, Egypt urges United States to reverse decision to cut off funding for United Nations Refugee Agency. I am Eval Edu with the news details shortly. Stay with us.
Every day, every story. If it matters to you, depend on our news team to bring you the latest.
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has warned informers of kidnappers, bandits and criminals in the territory to repent or end up dying at the hands of security operatives. Wike, who gave the warning at a town hall security meeting held in Kuje Area Council of the territory, urged residents of the area to play their roles in providing relevant information that would help security agencies.
I know some of the informants of the criminals are here. I'm aware. Don't think I'm not aware. I'm aware. I will say this thing for them to know. Time is up. Time is up. And these criminals, they are getting up. We will say we are eliminating security totally. Nowhere in this world, even developed society, where you say there's no one form of criminality. No. But we will do our best to make sure that you go about your normal business without anybody molesting you. You sleep well without you being afraid that something will happen.
The minister promised to tackle insecurity head-on, reiterating that the bandits and criminals' time was up.
And that is why he has sent me to you to let you understand that you cannot be abandoned this period. He shares with you, he feels your pain. I said, I must tell you this and tell you how prepared we are to face the challenges head-on. Our traditional ruler, let me encourage you and your people that we are going to tackle this issue of insecurity head-on. And you know our track record, when we say we want to do something, we do it. We are not talking here as if we are coming to ask you for vote. No. We are coming here to tell you, look, these problems you have, we are here to solve it.
Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says there's no going back on the relocation of the headquarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAD, from Abuja to Lagos. Keyamo, who spoke on national television, said the whole issue was compounded with the fact that FAN is not yet digitalized, noting that they spend ₦500 million on a flight ticket between Lagos and Abuja alone.
So you get one simple signature to get one document approved for one small meeting or the other. And it is compounded by the fact that FAN is not yet digitalized. That is what I met on the ground. It's not digitalized where they can exchange digital documents. They cannot. So they fly every day back and forth to Abuja, to Lagos and Abuja. In 1 year, they showed me the books. They spent close to ₦500 million on air tickets. Let that shock Nigerians first. Between Lagos, Abuja, Lagos. 450 something million naira on tickets alone. I shouted, I said, what is this? The MD, who of course has an office here, but she will need 1, 2, 3, 4 persons. They will fly to Abuja on a daily basis, back and forth. So I said, so what do you want? They said, sir, can we just all go back to Lagos?
Keyamo said when his predecessor, Hadi Sirika, moved the headquarters of all aviation agencies from Lagos to Abuja in 2020, no adequate provision was made for the principal officers like the directors and the departments under them.
The headquarters we are talking about, people should not assume that headquarters means the place where the largest operation takes place. Does not mean where the biggest building is. Headquarters, is where the decision makers sit. That is what headquarters mean in any sector at all. It's not where the largest, number of workers are or the biggest building, like I said before. So it's just where should they sit down on a daily basis to take decisions. Now, back to this. So in 2020, they came to Abuja. They had nowhere to stay. All of these officers, the principal officers, no offices for.
It is close that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is investigating his predecessor, Hadi Sirika, over the controversy surrounding the Nigerian Airways deal.
The The whole composition and the totality of that deal was merely Ethiopian Air flying Nigerian flag. It was not a national carrier. There are two things. A flag carrier is different from a national carrier. So when we were being told that a national carrier was coming, it was not a national carrier. It was a foreign airline trying to fly Nigerian flag. EFCC investigating that deal. There's an ongoing EFCC investigation. So people who don't know should know. So for now, I will not prejudice an EFCC investigation, a sister agency. An agency of government, to undermine them. But there is a criminal investigation going on. That is the honest truth.
Former Adamawa Senator Elisha Abo is seeking withdrawal of appointment of Justice Chioma Nwosu-Iheme at the Supreme Court over alleged judicial banditry and miscarriage of justice. Senator Abo, who represented Adamawa North in the 9th Senate and won re-election into the 10th Senate before nullification of his mandate by the Court of Appeal, made the call for withdrawal of Justice Nwosu-Iheme's nomination at a World Press Conference.
Actually, three of her recent judgment is against the judgment she gave. Her own judgment, she went against her own judgment in my own case, was nominated to go to the Supreme Court. I have written to the President today, and I'll read a letter to the President. We don't need those kind of character in the Supreme Court. We don't need it. I have petitioned the President to stop her swearing as a court of the Supreme Court. And I have also written to the Nigerian Judicial Council, NJC, today, and I'm calling on the NJC to investigate this case. Like I said before, if a medical doctor killed a patient through his negligence, then that medical doctor will face a panel. If a driver killed someone due to negligence, that driver will be punished. Judges must begin to be punished.
He condemned the sacks of the House of Assembly members in Plateau State by the Court of Appeal, describing it as an illegal action.
No matter how bad and skewed and perverse the judgment is, I am not calling for review. If you call for review, it will open floodgates of reviews. And when a stringent review, another review will also come. We cannot bastardize our laws just because it didn't please us. If we want to practice this democracy, we must accept defeat. We must accept that certain things are right and certain things are wrong. And we make do with the wrong ones and try to correct them in the future. 16 members of the Plateau House of Assembly were sacked illegally, arbitrarily, perversely, criminally, and today Plateau is burning. The state of the Court of Appeal President, my colleagues in the Senate, was sacked by the Court of Appeal. But the other one, election was arranged for the other one because some higher people intervened.
Justice Nwosu-Iheme was among the 11 justices from the Court of Appeal nominated for vacant seats at the Supreme Court by President Bola Tinubu in December 2023, as recommended by the National Judicial Council and later confirmed by the Senate. Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, with the support of the MacArthur Foundation, has organized a roundtable on inclusive elections with a special focus on accessibility and utilization of assistive materials for voters with disability in 2023 elections. The meeting amplifies the awareness of provisions in the Electoral Act with the aim of deliberating on the importance, challenges, perspective and expectation of beneficiaries and providing lessons, knowledge for increased advocacy and adoption, and to seek to improve on the greater participation of persons with disability in Nigerian elections. Our correspondent Irene Okechukwu has more on this report.
The meeting amplifies the awareness of provisions in the Electoral Act with the aim of deliberating on the importance, challenges, perspectives and expectations of beneficiaries and providing lessons, knowledge for increased advocacy and adoption to seek and improve on the greater participation of persons with disabilities in Nigerian election. The Director of Gender and Inclusivity of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mrs. Lakunuya Dorothy Bello, while addressing those with disability, spoke on the availability and utilization of assistive materials in the 2023 general election and encouraged people with disability to register and update their status in the data so that their numbers will be increased.
We agree that sensitization needs to be carried out so that those that have registered earlier can update their status in the register, so that we can be able to have accurate data of person with disability. And I will urge that we try what we can as much as possible, put hands together, seek for whichever direction we can get whether funding or no funding, whichever community in our community, to encourage people to come out and update whenever the register is open for continual voter registration. Let us try and do that. We'll see that the number will change. Let them not go and register afresh, but to do update, because that portal provided for update.
The Executive Director of Inclusive Friends Association, who presented a report of observation on accessibility to polling units and utilization of relevant forms, stated that there will be need for strong collaboration of government with those with disabilities.
Persons with disabilities have the qualification, they have the expertise. Most of them are even part of those political parties and are key vocal persons within these political parties. I think it's about time that we collaborate, a strong collaboration. We sit together with the government to know what do they want, and we also tell them what we want. We came up with an agenda of what we wanted for them, and that agenda is still a document that can still be implemented.
The roundtable included representatives from civil society organizations whose thematic areas promote disability inclusion, the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, the Disability Commission, the Makator Foundation, and among others.
Irene Okechukwu, Rapid FM News, Abuja.
Special thanks to Irene Okechukwu for that report. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has applauded the Supreme Court verdict which affirmed him as a duly elected governor of the state. Governor Fintiri in his reaction called on opposition parties and members to join him in the task of moving the state forward, while thanking the people of Adamawa State who stood for him from the tribunal stage to the latest and final judgment.
My profound gratitude goes to Almighty Allah for making the whole thing possible in our favor, and I'm thankful for the judiciary for standing firm, ensure justice is delivered from the tribunal to the Supreme Court, and to my hard-working and dedicated team of lawyers ranging from the team leader, Barrister Didi Dodo, SN, and his team, Mahmoud Magaji and his team, and the lawyers that represented the PDP, Raji, Ahmed, and that of the INEC. Above all, to my people in the state that have started firm with me throughout this trial time. I'm grateful for them, and to my entire well-wishers across the country. This victory will only spur us more to do better for our state. We'll continue to ensure that only the best is delivered to our people.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has signed an executive order on the handling and storage of harmful substances within the state. Governor Makinde, after signing the order, visited the incident's epicenter, where he emphasized that this proactive measure addresses the risk posed by storing dangerous substances in residential areas, stating that individuals possessing substances with the potential to endanger lives and property must now comply with the law. While providing an update on the ongoing recovery activities, he assured the public that a comprehensive report would be submitted by Monday, which will guide the government's new next step in addressing the situation. Abia State Acting Director of Fire Service, Aroa Nana, has stated that Abia State has not recorded any tanker or gas explosion, unlike other states. Nana, who stated this in an exclusive interview on Abia 360 on Rapid 96.5 FM, attributed these to the fire prevention measures applied by Abia State residents, stating that the level of fire prevention measures is coming up. He also further stated that the major causes of fire are carelessness, accidents, and arson or intentional acts.
So if you come to our department, in fact, what we have emphasized, like I would say that Abia, we are trying, we are coming up, because if you look at what is happening in other states, some of the states have taken their own share of this harmattan. Some states we have explosion, gas explosion. We have had a tanker explosion, but in our states, Abia State, we have not recorded any tanker explosion or gas explosion. That shows that the level of prevention is coming up. In fire, we have what we call causes of fire. We have three major causes of fire. The first one is carelessness. Do you understand? The second one is accident. And the third one is what we call arson or intentional acts.
And on the foreign scene, Egypt has called on the U.S. to reverse the decision to suspend funding for the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry held talks in Cairo with U.S. Special Envoy for Middle East Humanitarian Issues, David Satterfield. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry said discussions between the two sides took up the deteriorating humanitarian conditions in the Gaza Strip and the destruction of infrastructure in the enclave. At least 18 countries, along with the EU, have suspended their funding for UNRWA based on Israel's criticism that 12 of the agency's staff participated in the 7 October attack by Hamas. And in business, Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, over the free fall of the naira and hyperinflation. The summon was through its Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, headed by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru. The governor and his team were asked to appear on Tuesday next week to explain the state of the economy and the free flow of the naira at the forex markets. And in sports, Super Eagles pocketed a whopping $30,000 each for getting past the group stage of the ongoing 2023 African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. Jose Peseira's side finished second in Group A behind the Zalang Nationals of Equatorial Guinea. The previous arrangement was for each player to be paid a $5,000 a match bonus to the final. The team will get an additional bonus for the round of 16 victory against the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Jose Peseira's side will take on the Black Antelopes of Angola in a quarterfinal fixture at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, Abidjan, on Friday. Before we go, a recap of the top stories. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike issues fresh warning to informers and kidnappers. Governor Seyi Makinde signs executive order on handling of harmful substances in Oyo State. And in the foreign scene, we brought you a report that Egypt urges United States to reverse decision to cut off funding for United Nations Refugee Agency. And that's the news at 6:30 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM. For news coverage and eyewitness reports, kindly send a message to our hotline on WhatsApp 0704-9220-965 or send an email to news@rbnradiotv.com. This bulletin was packaged by Kingsley Onwuka. My name is Aval Edu. Welcome to the month of February. Good morning once again.
Rapid 96.5 FM.
The sound of your